I'm gay. I'm so gay. I've known for a while now that I am, though it took me a lot of time to figure out at first. In middle school, I was the kid with the gay sassy voice. Everyone called me gay, but I didn't believe it. And I didn't want them to be right. So for most of middle school and the beginning of high school, I tried to suppress it and be a person who I wasn't. But after growing up and understanding myself more, I knew it wasn't true. Eventually, I came to terms with myself and labeled myself as bisexual, which was wrong at the time, but I still wanted to be kind of normal. Give myself false hope that I could still be in a relationship with a girl. So I went as bisexual for a few years of my life, soon realizing down the road that I really only had attraction towards men. Around this time, my friend group consisted of mostly queer people, so they helped me find myself a lot better. And I did. And after long talks with my friends, I finally realized I'm gay. Saying it felt good. I finally felt like I found myself after all these years of searching. But that was only the beginning. I had so many more things to figure out. After going through multiple relationships, I started to realize that they weren't for me. I learned that romantic orientations were a thing. I did a bit of research on them. Soon after researching, I realized I fit into some of them. I'm aromantic, which means I have little to no romantic attraction, and I'm somewhere on the asexual spectrum, which means I have little to no sexual attraction. And add those two together and you get aroace. Probably the coolest thing ever. Being aroace means you're both aromantic and asexual. You get the whole package. Although a neat thing about these is that I still do have attraction in both fields, but just not as much as a regular person would. I'll dive deeper into being aromantic, but I'll leave asexual aside. After learning about being aromantic, it made a ton of sense. Throughout my school life, I never really had any crushes on people and never really felt like I needed them. Although everybody around me always talked to me about having crushes. It really just made no sense to me. To look at someone and actually feel something romantic about them or need to be with them, I just didn't understand. Along with that, it's pretty much stapled into our brain that you need a relationship and you need someone to love. At least that's what every single goddamn song talks about. It gets really annoying when everyone's shoving these ideas of love down my throat. And yes, I'm in a relationship, but it's complicated and I don't want to get into it. It's my private life, not yours. Anyways, let's get back on track on how I came out. The main thing to keep in mind is that coming out is done on a case-by-case basis. Some people have families who are very caring and who will accept them for who they are, although some may live in more hostile environments where it's hard to do so. There really isn't any right time to come out, and I don't want you to ever feel pressured to do so. Go at your own pace. For me, I chose to come out because I wanted to be closer with my family, and I was starting a relationship with a guy at the time, so I knew I'd have to come out sooner or later. Let me paint you a picture. It was the first day of Pride Month, and it was a nice and sunny day. My mom was sitting outside in a lawn chair, and I realized now is the time. I took a deep breath and walked outside to sit next to her. I asked if I could tell her something, and she said, of course. I then took a second to calm myself down, and then I said, Mom, I'm bisexual. I like both guys and girls. And I said this to give her a little sense of false hope that there was maybe a chance I could date a girl. And she was surprised, but happy that I felt comfortable enough to tell her. I told her nothing about me was going to change, but I just wanted to let her know. And then later that day, my dad came up to me and told me he heard the news. I was sweating because at this time I thought he was homophobic. Though he told me that he still accepted me and just needed to understand it more. Because he thought being bisexual was you didn't know if you liked guys or girls. And in my case, it was kind of true, so he's not far off. I was lucky and so grateful that my family accepted me for who I am. And 3 years later, nothing has changed. Our whole family dynamic is still the same as it was before. Though for some people, it may not be the case. Though for some people, it's not the case. If you know for a fact your family won't accept you, the best advice I can give you is just to wait. I know, it may hurt hiding this side of you, but it'll be worth it in the end. Just make sure you're financially independent when you tell them, just as a safety net. I truly hope that this never ever happens to any of you that's watching this video. But just be careful. Now the next biggest fish to fry is coming out as a furry. This in itself is already wrong. You don't need to come out as a furry. It's a hobby, not a sexuality. The amount of times I've gotten DMs about people asking how to come as a furry is crazy. People, I hear you, but it's not that serious. It's like coming out to your family as an artist. Mom, Dad, I'm an artist. Get the fuck out. Take it lightly. Sure, you may need to explain to your parents what a furry is if you ever plan on attending a convention. Or, you can use the classic excuse that I use and say it's an anime convention. But the big question is, how do you explain it to them? Multiple times, my mom has walked into me editing videos and drawing art on my persona, and she always asks what it is. And the best way I can really put it is that it's my online persona. It's how people perceive me on the internet. And some people turn their online character into a real person by making a suit for them, like cosplaying. My mom found it pretty cool and cute. So saying the same thing for you might work. Overall, it's okay to not know yourself. That's what living is for. Take care of yourself day by day and slowly figure out the places of your puzzle pieces. Sexuality is a spectrum, and there's a spot for everybody. And live for who you want to be. Bye. Stay you.